Hey guys! Today is National Soufflé Day, and I was just saying the other day how I needed to learn how to make these, so I'm gonna give it a shot. So I'm really excited. It's chocolate soufflé, it's chocolate. So obviously something right up my alley. So let's give it a shot. I'm gonna use the recipe from Sally's Baking Edition because it's basically one of my favorite websites ever. She's the best. So I will post a link to that recipe as well, but let's get started. So basically the first step is to melt my butter and my chocolate together, and it calls for 4 ounces of either bittersweet or semi-sweet dark chocolate. It calls for a bar, but my grocery store only had actually my grocery store did have a bar that I could use. I'm gonna go ahead and use these. It had these chocolate chunks, so I'm really careful about the chocolate that I use because, okay, everybody, if you know who I am, I'm gonna go on a soapbox for about 10 seconds. Chocolate is in crisis, so you've gotta be really careful where you get what vendor you get your chocolate from, because there's a lot of sustainability issues and child labor issues in the cocoa industry. So just be really careful, look for the fair trade, and do some research about where you're getting your chocolate. So I'm really picky about where I get my chocolate. So anyway, so I'm gonna use, so I don't have a bar, so I'm actually gonna have to weigh my chocolate out. So I'm gonna use the digital kitchen scale here. And let's see how perfectly close I can get to 4 ounces. What do y'all think? All right, and so what it says to do is melt this in the, you can either do this in a double broiler. I don't have a double broiler, so I'm gonna melt it in my microwave on 20-second intervals, because chocolate is really, really easy to burn. So you wanna melt it on 20-second intervals. I'm gonna do mine on 50% power. You probably don't need to do that. I work with chocolate a lot. I don't wanna burn it. So I'm pretty careful. So stay tuned as I melt some chocolate. All right, so this is the part of my kitchen most of you guys don't normally see. This is my stand mixer. I really wish Paper Jeff made a stand mixer, but I do love my KitchenAid, and don't get me wrong. So what the recipe says to do is to make sure that this is totally free of residue or anything like that. So I cleaned it again and wiped it. Sorry, my dogs are playing in the background. So I'm going to put the eggs in here, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar, which is what will help it form the peaks. And we are going to whisk this together. Just let it go. All right, so I beat my egg whites in the cream of tartar, and it says to do that until soft peaks form. Sorry, I wanted you to see it, and I'm really tall, so I can't both be in the camera and here, so sorry for the weird angle, but so I'll lean down. So it says to beat the egg whites with the cream of tartar until soft peaks form. I'm going to assume this is soft peaks. We'll see if I get this right. So now it wants us to keep beating, but doing a tablespoon at a time of the sugar. I think that definitely looks like hard peaks now, so we're gonna go with this one. So now I'm basically just gonna fold this into the chocolate mixture. So come join me over at the chocolate mixture. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fold it in now. I mean, it says to do it in maybe 3 sections. So that's what I'm gonna do. And you don't want to let it deflate too much. You really want to keep the airiness of those eggs, because that's what helps that beautiful souffle texture. So you're just gonna fold it in Has anybody seen Schitt's Creek? Fold it in. But what do you mean fold it? If you say fold it one more time. I love that show. I hope some of you know what I'm talking about. That part like made me literally laugh so hard. Dan Levy is hilarious. I think that's how you say his last name. All right, so let's go for the next batch of eggs. All right, I think it's mostly mixed in. All right. All right, I think it's mostly mixed in now. So what I'm gonna do is the recipe says that if we put this in the fridge while we preheat the oven and prepare the ramekins, this is gonna get a little more firm and it's gonna make it even more fluffy. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the fridge and then we're gonna go start on the ramekins. I'll see you in a second. So I've got the ramekins here, just the size. I actually bought these today. All of my ramekins were, they got used a lot, so they were broken. So I'm going to go ahead and first coat the inside of the ramekin with butter. I'm using my hands. Just coat it nice and even as much as you can. If you have a brush, you can use a brush. I just find I like to do this better with my hands because I can tell that I'm getting it all evenly. It's up to you though. You know, however you are able to do it best is fine. I did watch the Alice Winters masterclass today, and she agrees with using your hands because you can sense the things with the food that you need to. They're your best tools, guys. And I totally agree. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and coat the inside with sugar. And you really want to get a nice sugar layer across and around the sides. So you're going to kind of roll that sugar around the side so it gets nice and stuck there. That's what's going to allow it to have a nice little crispy coating, and also, you know, rise the right way up instead of over the pan. That's my understanding anyways. You guys are all gonna get to know my dog's barks really well if you follow my page. All right, so hopefully that's good. Hopefully that's good. We'll see. I'm gonna do the rest of the 4. Also, I forgot to mention a second ago, I almost forgot to preheat my oven. So I'm preheating my oven to 400 degrees. All right, there you go. There's 4 ramekins. So I'm gonna move this off to the side. Now we're gonna fill them. All right, so now we're gonna fill them. We're just gonna spoon them in. Oh man, that looks nice. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough batter to do all 4 actually. This might have been a recipe for 2 of my size. Yeah, I think I'm only gonna have 2 here. I must have bigger ramekins than the recipe calls for, because she wanted us to, because our next step is going to be to flatten them across the top so they rise up. Yep, so we're only gonna have 2. So you might want to double the recipe if your ramekins are as big as mine. Because mine don't go all the way to the top, but that's okay. We'll roll with it. And you want to even it out nice and smooth. so it's a nice flat surface. Nice. Okay. And then Sally is telling us a trick that's going to be a really important trick. And what you do is you take the knife. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing right now. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the spreader, and you are going to basically get a little bit of the top away from the edge, and that will allow it to rise straight up in that form that you're used to seeing, instead of just puffing over the top of the side. So she, like a little trough right around the edge. I'm doing my best to follow your recipe, Sally. I will try to do you proud. All right. So, you see how there's a little trough in there, like right on the edge? You see how there's like a little trough around the edge? All right, so these are gonna go in the oven at 400 degrees for, let me go check and see how long this has to go in the oven. So these are gonna go in the oven for 13 to 14 minutes. All right, so I will see you guys in about 15 minutes. So I'm a little bit nervous because I have about 2 minutes left and they're actually looking okay, but I realized maybe 5 or 10 minutes ago that I was supposed to preheat the oven to 400, but as soon as I put them in, you're supposed to turn the temperature down to 375. I turned the temperature down probably about 3 or 4 minutes into it, so hopefully it's still okay. And then I'm also a little bit worried because the recipe was supposed to be able to fit 4 6-ounce ramekins. My ramekins are bigger. The ones I have are 8 ounces, but it only filled 2. Probably should have filled 3, so I wonder if I didn't whip my eggs enough, but we'll see. Cross your fingers. All right, the final test. Here it comes. It's 30 seconds and they look pretty good. All right, let's try it. Oh my gosh. Look, the guys, they look really good. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I hope they're cooked. Are they cooked long enough? What do you think? I don't want to put them in any longer. We're gonna go with yeah. I hope it's done. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna coat them with a little powdered sugar. You could put creme anglaise on them, or you could do a little whipped cream and some raspberries or strawberries. We're just gonna do it real simple right now. So they look good. They look good. I'm pretty proud of them. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Happy National Chocolate Soufflé Day, guys. Bye.